Hello, fellow photographers. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should order photography equipment and accessories from Temu. All right, so let's jump right into this. I went ahead and ordered a bunch of stuff from Temu. I think it was probably about a month ago. It all finally came in. It's sitting right here. I'll tell you the cost when we start going through the actual items of how much I actually paid for it versus how much Amazon is currently selling the exact same item at. And we'll just kind of decide how's the quality. Is it something you should look into? Before I open any of this up, I'm going to go ahead and say right now I probably won't buy any cameras, lenses, anything along those lines from Temu. It just doesn't seem like that's something that would make a whole lot of sense. Now, various types of flashes, filters, stuff like that, that's where I'm looking to be swayed. So let's go ahead and start opening this up and see how it looks. These items used to come in a white package with orange Temu stamped all over it. None of these seem to have come that way. I don't know if maybe they're changing some of their pricing up a little bit as to figure out what's cheaper, or if I just happen to get a bunch without the Temu logo on it. But I don't know. Because it was shipped in a paper bag, this box seems to have been a little squished. But this here looks to be a light stick. Set that aside. We have got, I'm not gonna lie, I don't completely remember what this is, but it looks like some sort of a camera or maybe a light. We'll take a look at that in a little more detail. And this here is what I was most curious about. This here is a KNF concept filter. This is a neutral density variable filter from Indy 2 to 4. So I'm curious to see how that is. It is actually the brand name KNF, so I'm expecting decent things. It's a decent, popular, cheap filter company. I use a lot of their filters. I happen to kind of be a fan of theirs. I'm assuming this is going to be a light stick of some sort. It's got a funky smell to it, but it actually looks pretty decent. Looks like it's got cords and a remote. All right, we'll check this out in a little more detail in a little bit. This, we can tell it's a Clocktech photo light box. All right, quick look. It looks like it has everything. We'll put it together here shortly. This is a light ring upside down there. All right, so we've got everything. So now I'm gonna clear the table off and we'll go through an item one at a time. Okay, so I took a little bit of time to do some research. I compared these products from Temu and on Amazon. I found this ring fill light on both. On Temu, I paid $13.99 for this, and on Amazon is selling for $30.99. So let's see if it is a worthy product. Let's open up this box and take everything out. All right, cats like to get everywhere. All right, so let's open this up and see what it's like. She likes to be the star of the show. All right, so first vibe is it does feel kind of cheap. Secondly, you need to plug it in. But it does come with a whole bunch of little gadgets. Get this little tripod, which low to the ground, but it seems pretty sturdy. It's got another larger tripod here. Doesn't seem that bad. Alright, it comes with a little camera mount. Looks like a clicker. I'm assuming this is some kind of a mount, although I'm not familiar with that. It's got another camera mount here, or sorry, a phone mount here. This seems pretty heavy. Decent little ball gimbal. All right, we've got a couple different color tones here. Looks like we've got a brightness. That doesn't seem too terrible. So what it looks like is something like this here is meant to hold your phone and get it perfectly lit up well. My thoughts are for using it more as a camera, or sorry, more with a camera. So let's test it out. Take a picture of this guy, if I've got enough space. And I don't have a memory card in here. All right, well, first, let's take a picture here without the light on. Okay, so for this picture here, it looks like I have to shoot it at half a second. I don't think I can stay that still, but let's give it a try. All right, now let's turn on the light. Let's just see if on its brightest, I can now shoot differently. Okay, so now I can shoot this at a 20th of a second. So close range, but it seems to do a little bit. I could see this doing okay with some catch lights in the eyes when you're recording a video or something along those lines. Other than that, I personally can't think of a whole lot of use I can have for this thing. I don't know, maybe on the next video I'll set it up with the camera on the tripod with this and see how that looks. But let's move on to the next product. All right, so our next two products are these rainbow neon and sunset lights. Uh, Earlier when we were opening it up, I had no idea what they were. I could not remember. Between these two, there's no obvious difference as to which one which is, except for there's a little bit of a color hint on the fronts of them. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'll pull up this picture here. So let's start with this rainbow night light. And looks like when you plug it in, it'll kind of stay up where you want it at. See how the lighting looks. I had it wrong. This is the sunset light. So you can kind of get an idea of what it does. As for photography, I don't know. I'm not sold on this yet. I do like how easily it maneuvers around. Um, on Temu, this thing costs. Sorry, my eyes, they're need to adjust. On Temu, this costs $2.06. On Amazon, you can buy them for $5.44. But let's see how this works with a picture. Just under half a second. And now, plug in the light. Let's see if that adds anything. Alright, so I get to turn it up now to just over half a second. Or just, I had that backwards, I'm sorry. Looking at it wrong. Also gives a little bit of an orange hue to the pictures. The night one and the sunset one, they're the exact same price, so let's go ahead and plug that one in. See if there's much of a difference with it. Apparently this one gets quite a bit brighter. I was able to move it up to a 20th of a second. So looking at them up close, it does kind of give you this kind of cool colored effect, real bright in the middle, and then it gradually changes to another color. Is it worth $5, $6 on Amazon? I'm gonna say no. Is it worth $2 on Temu? I might use it one day. Let's move on to the next product. All right, so our next product is this UFO sunset lamp. On Temu, this costs $7.48. On Amazon, it is $14.99. And because I found out Walmart first, on Walmart, this is $18.62. So if this does well, then Temu's definitely a viable option for buying this, getting it 50% off. It does take a week to a month for these items to come in the mail, so that's something to consider. Set this out of the way. And this looks like it's got a nifty little stand. Alright, and it comes with a remote. There does not seem to be any kind of extension, so it is just this. There looks to be an on-off switch. It looks like it comes on automatically. Okay, that's the off. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. This is more that nighttime vibe. Let's see what this does. All right, so it came with a remote. It seems to do absolutely nothing. This remote doesn't seem to do anything at all. All right, so the picture showed to point it directly at it. Let's see here, let's go red, blue, yellow. Okay, we got yellow. Okay, now we got it going. So the sensor seems to be inside there, but not all of the buttons give you a different color. Well, this is white, so we will use this as a test to see if this will be decent to take pictures of our alien here. Start with a picture of it off. We're shooting this at 0.6 seconds, and then with it on, we are shooting this at 0.10 seconds. Did get a cat jumping in front of it. I don't personally see this as a worthy tool for photography. For 15 bucks, I don't see myself paying for a static light like this. Now, this might be cool for maybe if you had like a set that you were setting up and you wanted some ambiance going on. It's not going to add a whole lot of light to the overall lighting of your set, but it could add some colors that could kind of bounce around and look cool. Um, as for paying 15 bucks for it, I don't see myself doing it. $8, not as bad of a cost. So let's move on to the next product. All right, so our next product is this light wand. I don't know if the brand of this is RGB LED, but I could not find a whole lot of information about this other than a model number is RL30SL. It's powered by USB-C, which that's a good thing because these ports are becoming fairly popular, easy to find. All right, let's see if it turns on without the power. Oh, we got light. It's got a rhythm. Turn up the brightness. There we go. Continuous. Cycle through colors. Make it darker. Make it brighter. For an RGB, oh, here's RGB mode. I'm just curious why I can't select, say, a solid blue or a solid red. I get the different hints. That RGB mode seems... Oh, so it's not a brightness that I change the colors. Interesting. Also got plastic on it. Probably take that off before I test. Alright, let's try red. Bring our alien out. We'll do this one a little more close up. Shut you off for now. Let's take our picture. At a 1/6 of a second. Let's turn on our red light. Seems to be casting more of a shadow. Doesn't do anything about brightening up the subject, but it does give me colored look on it. See if blue does the same thing. This one seems to have brightened it up a little. Not sure of the flashing beforehand, but it does seem to steadily get brighter after it flashes. Let's try just the regular colors. So this one does seem much brighter. And yes, it'll move up to a 15th of a second, so we're good there. So this might be decent, but let's talk about cost. Okay, I get it. I was like, I don't know what it's doing, but I guess it's based off my talking. All right, well that's kind of cool. All right, so let's talk about the cost. On Temu, this is all right. So on Temu, this here is $13.98. I could not find this exact model on Amazon or any other site to buy it directly, other than maybe AliExpress, but it looked like it was slightly different still. But the closest variation I could find of this, it was pretty much the same thing. It's just on the back they stamped a brand name, and I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of these companies do. They order from Temu, put a brand name on it, and then sell it at a higher markup. Their higher markup was $39.99. So you're paying about $30 more for essentially the same product, just with somebody's brand name stuck on it. Um, with this case, yeah, I think it's cool. I might be able to find some use with it occasionally. If not, this little talking music, whatever thing's kind of cool. For less than 15 bucks, I'm okay with it. For 40 bucks, I wouldn't risk buying something like this. But let's move on to the next product now. All right, so our next product is this RGB light wand. This one is made by Hagibis, and it is a decent size. It comes with a remote as well. We're gonna ignore that for now because it does have buttons on the back. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. Before we do, price on Amazon for this is $47.99. On Temu, it was $36.53. So let's see if this one is worth it. All right, we got some different colors. We got some strobe light colors. We got solid whites, warm colors, red, green, blue. All right, so it looks like that seems to be about it. The remote might offer other variations. Oh yeah, definitely does seem like it gets brighter. All right, so let's take our picture of our little alien. We shooting this at half a second. And then with this, we are shooting this at 0.25. All right, this one definitely seems to be the much better light ones between this one and the one we had just looked at. Do like the color hues. I kind of want to try that one out. Let's see. We'll make you evilish. So it's not as bright, so we have to turn it down a little. It's a cool little product. This one I can actually see myself using. Now, price difference between Temu and Amazon looks to be about $10. Is it worth waiting a month to save $10? That's up to you. But viable option to buy from Temu if you want to. This one actually, I'm kind of digging. So let's move on to the next product. All right, so our next product is this RGB video light. This item is no longer available on Temu, but when I bought it, it was $8.39. On Amazon, can't find this exact model, but a comparable one is going for $30. All right, it does come with a little cord, and it is also USB-C. Does not look like you need to plug it in for it to work. It's got a little hot shoe, plastic adapter, as well as a tripod adapter. Also looks like you can connect multiple lights to this using the plastic hot shoe. Let's just slide that on. And let's take a picture here. All right, so just like the previous ones, we're at half a second. And let's turn this light on. There we go. Let's just try white. See how you work as a flash. So instead of half a second, we're at a tenth of a second. Can I make it brighter? All right, well, I can go up to 0.13. This is definitely more for a video light versus a photography light. Okay, so I can change the colors, it looks like. Let's see if we can get just a stagnant red, which, does this thing go back to 0? It does. All right, so 0 degrees. From a distance, you're not getting much red, so this is definitely going to have to be more of a using it close up. Most of the red doesn't even really look like it shows up too well. As for lighting me up, I think it's probably a pretty decent video camera. I don't see this being a decent photography camera. As for price wise, yeah, if you get it under $10, it's probably a decent buy. I can see myself using this at some point. It's definitely bright enough to blind me, and I can't see you. So that being said, let's move on to the next product. All right, so we are getting into the one that I was most excited about. This is a variable neutral density filter. Um, and I guess the reason I was most excited about this is because indie filters are generally pretty expensive. Now, one thing that I either didn't notice or didn't pay attention to or didn't care when I bought it is this is their B series. So doing a little research with KNF, the B series versus the D series, like most of my filters from them, the D series is waterproof. This one is not. So I guess I just have to be careful around waterfalls with this one. As with all KNF, they come with a nice case. It's a decent size. It feels fairly well made. Looks like it rotates fairly easily. Doesn't seem to be a stop. So you can just rotate right out of everything. No, maybe not. Yep, definitely can just rotate through it. So for this one, let's go ahead and grab some step-up filters. Put those on it. All right, so how do I want to do this? I think it's probably best to record a video for you. All right, so this video might be a little grainy, but let's go ahead and record it. So you can see neutral density getting darker as we rotate it, and then back to being lighter again. This is only moving, I believe it's 9 stops. This Indy 2 to 400, but seems to rotate pretty nicely. Kind of like that. That's not bad. I'm not sure how I feel about this versus, say, for neutral density filters, I definitely prefer more the square style of the filters. That way you can slide them in and out easier while you're focusing beforehand. Now with something like this, I can probably easily focus on its lightest setting, set my stuff, and then just rotate it to the darker one I want to use. Um, all in all, I'd say it's probably pretty decent. Let's talk about pricing on it. On Temu, this was $21.98. On Amazon, it's $37.99. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, this one is worth it. It is a name brand product. It is something that, might as well save yourself $16, $17. Um, yeah, I'd definitely say it is well worth it if I can get this other filter off. But let's move on to the next product. All right, so our next product is this Clock Tech Photo Light Box. On Amazon, you can buy this for $42.99. On Temu, it is $36.48. So for such a small variation in the price, I would personally say stick with Amazon. It's probably not worth the waiting a month to get it in. Pay a couple extra dollars to get it same day or the next day or something like that. But let's take this out and see how it all looks. I'm assuming these are all different backgrounds. Well, good. They're different colors on either side. Don't like how they ship it to you. It is folded in half. Um, as for the box itself, seems like a pretty sturdy box. Yeah, I've got no hate on the box. It is pretty sturdy. I don't like the fact that there's only the solo top ring light. Not a fan of that. Um, but let's go ahead and put this in here and let's turn it on. All right, so for you to see it and me to see it. All right, so we've got power. Definitely brightens it up, changes my mood or my warmth. That's not bad. Keep it cool. Looks like that might be max brightness. Looks like I can turn it down. All right, well, let's take a picture, see how this comes out. Just looking at that, Velcro's got to have some use that's in there. Not fully sure. I do see this, a little top thing if you want to shoot from above. That's a cool concept. Or perhaps that's what you're supposed to be doing. Even if you're not shooting from above, you can set this thing on its back and shoot it that way. Yeah, who knows? Oh, I know what that is. This here's a filter. Okay. So I can put a filter in there to soften it. That way we don't have as harsh of lighting. Filter doesn't attach that well, but let's go ahead and take a picture. Let's do this one without the light. It's going to be very dark. So this one, 1.3 seconds. And then with the light and a softener on it, a diffuser, sorry, we go up to zero point 0.2 seconds. And without the diffuser, you can go up to zero point 0.4 seconds. And then something tells me I'm not at my brightest. There we are. This seems to be more natural lighting. That didn't change anything when it came to the settings. So there you have it. That is the photo box. Let's move on to the next product while my cat goes crazy. All right, so the last item to talk to you about on Temu is this microphone. When my friend got me to sign up for Temu so he could try to get something free, this is one of the free gifts they happen to send me. I think it looks cool. As for the audio quality, it's decent. I do, just looking at the settings right now of how it's recording, I'm going to have to boost this a little bit. But cost-wise on Temu was absolutely free. Buy something comparable on Amazon, you're looking at $17.99. I will say when it came in, this top thing, the case covering it was broken off. Had to pop that back in. Seems to be holding for now. The volume button doesn't seem to do much of anything. The mute button doesn't. Oh, actually, the mute button does do something. Okay, so the mute button definitely does do something. So yeah, I guess all in all, it's not too terrible. Um, it looks cool. I don't know if I would generally make this my solo source of microphone, but this was the intention for today. Try it out, see how it works. Anyways, that has been all the items we have purchased from Temu to view. I will play with some of them over the next couple days. The ones that I think are probably the best products that we've gotten out of that is probably that light box. That one looked pretty good. The KNF neutral density filter is probably going to be a pretty good tool. And the larger of the light ones, I forget the name of it. It was Hagibis light wand. That one looks pretty decent. I would say overall, if you're going to shop on Temu, just be smart, do a little bit of research, see how it comes out. Until next time, happy shooting.